I wanted to come back on here and do some additional commentary involving this Connor Betts individual, especially since Jason Black over the Black Authority did such an amazing live stream covering the Dayton, Ohio shooting, and he went into some very details about it. I highly suggest, if you haven't done so, to go over there and look at that playback on his channel, because he really went into it, as we all know, because that's what he does. He's very analytical. But this article that I'm about to read from, that's coming from the Associated Press, goes into more additional information about this Connor Betts person, that if people would have picked up on it before, they probably could have stopped him and prevented this from actually happening. And when it comes to shootings such as these, a lot of this stuff is planned out, and you can tell his was planned out because of how he went into the situation. This guy went in there with all black on. He had pretty much armor on, like he was about to go to war, and he had heavy artillery. Like, he was prepared. He planned this out. And like I said in another video, the first victim that he killed was his sister, and she was sitting in the car with her boyfriend. Like I said, they're saying that the boyfriend was black and everything like that. We don't know, because they have not released the identity of the boyfriend. But we do know that the majority of the victims that he did kill at that bar were black. It was 4 black women and 2 black men, and 3 white individuals, including his sister. And then, of course, he ended up getting killed himself. Now, he could have been one of the white individuals, which means he killed one other white person. But this article that I'm about to read states that this individual, so this man kept a list of people he wanted to kill and kept a list of women he wanted to rape. See, if they would have caught that, they would have been able to catch him before all of this stuff went down. Just like with the whole Dylan Roof thing, yeah, I'm right about that. That thing planned to do that shooting for about 6 months, a half a year, and he carried out his plan, unfortunately. But see, a lot of people write off them doing this as them just being trying to be funny. But anyway, let me get into it. High school classmates of the gunman who killed 9 people early Sunday morning in Dayton, Ohio, said he was suspended for compiling a hit list of those he wanted to kill and a rape list of girls he wanted to sexually assault. Now, these are people that went to high school with him. Mind you, this guy was, 21? So he's been out of high school for 3 years? He was 24. The accounts by 2 former classmates emerged after police said there was nothing in the background of Connor Betts that would have prevented him from purchasing a .223 caliber rifle with extended ammunition magazines that he used to open fire outside a crowded bar. Police on patrol in the entertainment district fatally shot him less than a minute later. Both former classmates told the Associated Press that Betts was suspended during their junior year at suburban Bellbrook High School after a hit list was found scrawled in a school bathroom. He was that bold that he made a hit list and threw it onto the bathroom stall. Well, in a bathroom where anybody could see it. That followed an earlier suspension after Betts came to school with a list of female students he wanted to sexually assault, according to the 2 classmates, a man and a woman who are both now 24, and spoke on condition of being anonymous out of concern they might face harassment. There was a kill list and a rape list, and my name was on the rape list, said the female classmate. A former cheerleader, the woman said she didn't really know Betts and was surprised when a police officer called her cell phone during her freshman year to tell her that her name was included on a list of potential targets. The officer said he wouldn't be at school for a while, she said, but after some time passed, he was back. Walking the halls, they didn't give us any warning that he was returning to school. And that is actually a huge failure on the school's part. Like, imagine you as a woman, or at that time a girl, a teenager, finding out that you were on a list for some psycho that wanted to rape you. Or finding out that you were on a list compiled by a maniac of who he wanted to kill. And then you had to get that phone call from the authorities. Like, imagine if they didn't call her and tell her that. He could have cornered her and carried out his little plan, his little scheme. But like I said, it was still a huge failure on the school's part for them not to inform her or anybody else that was on that list, on both of those lists, that he was coming back to that school. And second of all, why the hell would you allow someone like that to come back to that school after he compiled such a list? Or should I say lists? See, they be giving people like that too many leeway, which is exactly why they keep doing what they did. They're lucky this guy didn't shoot up the school, because he was just literally a few instances away from pulling another Columbine. Bellbrook Sugar Creek Schools officials declined to comment on those accounts, only confirming that best attended schools in the district. Of course, they declined to comment about that because they know they were wrong for not telling people he was coming back. The discovery of the hit list early in 2012 sparked a police investigation, and roughly 1/3 of Bellbrook school students skipped school out of fear. It's not clear what became of that investigation. Chief Michael Brown of Sugar Creek Township, which has jurisdiction over the Bellbrook school, did not return calls Sunday about whether his agency investigated the hit list. I'll tell you, they didn't. There's no way they could have. I believe that they knew, but I do also believe that they didn't check into it or investigate further like they should have. Though Betts, who was 17 at the time, was not named publicly by authorities at the time as the author of the list, the former classmate said it was common knowledge within the school he was the one suspended over the incident. So apparently the students at that school knew that this guy had issues. And when you look at this picture of him right here, which is a recent image of him, this is a recent picture of this guy, you can just look and tell that this guy is someone you do not want to be even near in broad daylight, let alone in a dark alley. Drew Gainey was among those who went on social media Sunday to say red flags were raised about Betts' behavior years ago. There was an incident in high school with this shooter that should have prevented him from ever getting his hands on a weapon. This was a tragedy that was 100% avoidable. I agree. If they took it seriously back then they could have prevented it. But see, they don't. And that's why when it comes to these mass shooters, they need to look and dig deep back into their history, going back, especially to high school, and find out from people who went to school with them, what was their behavioral patterns like? Because I'm telling you, a lot of these individuals, this did not just happen overnight. This has been years of buildup. Like, they have been salivating for a moment like this. Gainey did not respond to messages from AP seeking further comment, but the name on his account matches that of a former Bellbrook student who was on the track team with Betts. Former Bellbrook principal Chris Baker said he would not dispute that information when the Daily News asked him Sunday about the hit list suspension. See, the fact that they keep saying that they're not going to do it, they're not going to talk about it, or they're not going to confirm or deny it was him, lets us know that it was him that compiled that list. Betts had no apparent criminal record as an adult, though if he had been charged as a juvenile, that would typically be sealed under state law. There's nothing in his individual's record that would have precluded him from getting these weapons. Not everyone went to school with Betts had bad things to say. Brad Howard told reporters in Bellbrook on Sunday that he was friends with Betts from preschool through their high school graduation. Connor Betts that I knew was a nice kid. The Connor Betts that I talked to always got along well with. Mike Kern, a customer at the gas station where Betts used to work in Bellbrook, said he hasn't seen Betts in about a year. He was the nicest kid you could imagine, always friendly. I never heard him talk about violence, say a racist word or anything like that. Well, see, that's the thing, that he knew how to put on a front. He was acting for you. That wasn't his true nature. He was giving you one side of him, or giving you the side of him that he wanted you to see, and not the side of him that we all saw come out just a couple days ago. That what he did was the true and real Connor Betts, and we all saw it play out in real time. He said they sometimes played trivia at a bar near the gas station, and Betts often knew the answers on questions about current events and pop culture. He was real smart, Kern said. He knew all the answers. Of course, you know, they had to go and talk to people that would speak of him in a good light, because they can't have everyone pretty much speaking on him in a negative light, although he should be because of what he did. So I don't care what anybody has to say as far as it being showing him in a good light. The fact of the matter is that this guy has had terroristic thoughts for a long time. It's just that he finally was able to carry them out this past weekend. I mean, the guy created a hit list of people he wanted to kill when he was in high school. He created a hit list of girls that he wanted to rape. And not only necessarily girls, he could have had older women on there. He could have put teachers and other faculty members on there as well. And like I said, the fact that one of the girls that they interviewed was the one that was on that list. Like I said, imagine you getting that call and finding out your name was on that list. You wouldn't catch me going anywhere near that school. But like I said, this is the fault of the school because they didn't handle this situation like they were supposed to. They allowed him to come back there knowing that this person created this list. I'm telling you, the school may try to play dumb and say that they didn't know. That school had to have known. Because they said right around the time that list went out, he was the only one that got suspended. Like, put 2 and 2 together. And the thing is, like, he got suspended for not behavioral problems, like, like cursing out the teacher. He didn't get suspended for fighting. He just got suspended just because. And no one gets suspended just because. So they had to have known. They didn't say anything. They covered up for him. It's the school. It's partially the school's fault. Because notice when I was reading that article and they was talking to some of the people, they kept saying they declined the comment. They declined the comment. They plead the fifth. They plead the Mark Furman, as I like to call it. Because they knew this guy had issues. And they tried to cover it up and they tried to turn a blind eye. Well, unfortunately, them doing that led to 9 people being killed this past Sunday. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you in the next one.